With the solar industry only continuing to grow in popularity, there are more and more companies every day that are vying for your business and wanting to install your solar panels. But before you make a decision, before you move too quickly, just wait. Consider these 5 expert tips for verifying that your contract you're choosing to work with is of the highest quality. Number 1, licenses and certifications. Make sure that the company you're choosing to work with is licensed and certified to work not only in your state, but in your local area. There's a lot of times where companies can come out of state if they're chasing high solar markets, they're chasing incentives, that they may not be prepared to actually work in your area. It's always important to check with the local municipality or with the company themselves to make sure that they can provide proof for those licenses that they have. And even the state boards have resources you can go to and check to make sure all the licenses are there. Now, certifications are also really important, now, whether that's certifications from manufacturers know how to do the equipment, or even certifications from industry groups like the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners, or NABCEP. NABCEP has long been the gold standard of certifications in solar, and if your solar installer has this, there's a high likelihood they really know what they're doing. Number 2, references and performance data. Of course, when you're working with any type of contracting, it's always going to be important to ask for references. You can read Google reviews, which are always great, but you know they're only sending reviews to people with the best experiences. You can ask them for references and then really get to see if you can talk with people who have worked with this company before. What was good? What was bad? Where did they experience delays? Where was the customer service really excellent? Somebody's going to give you a lot more of this information in a truly candid conversation, and that's going to tell you more than anything about what working with this company is going to be like. As far as performance data goes, when you talk to those people, you can also ask them or ask the company what their performance looks like a year later. With solar, we're all using a bunch of different softwares to make these solar quotes and estimate production. So if you get the real data from some homeowner or from the company, they can give you a look at, well, this is what we estimated them to produce, and this is what they actually produced a year later, and give you a really good insight into the accuracy and quality from which the data they use is pulled. Number 3, ownership and leadership team years of experience. Now, it's not only important that the company's been in business a long time, but that the ownership and the leadership teams have a lot of experience in solar. And that's not only just one specific aspect of solar, it's everything all combined. The exact leadership makeup and their years of experience in the industry are going to be a direct line to what the quality of service you're going to receive is. That's even better if you can know that the leadership team for this company has worked in solar for a long time, so they're familiar with the ups and downs and the way that business goes, so they can properly set expectations. And bonus points if they've worked in all facets of business, like operations, rather than just, say, sales, for example. That way, they really have a better handle on how the business operates and what the timeline's going to look like to make sure this business is successful. Number 4, local area expertise. Of course, there's always a big push for use a local company, use a local company. And there's really a good reason for that. Companies who have real local expertise know what it takes to get projects done in your area. It's also really helpful because every area is not just a cookie cutter from one thing. People have different requirements. They have different rules and regulations. So by working with somebody who is actually either headquartered or works in your area all the time, they can really know the ins and outs of how to get permits through efficiently, how to get interconnection through efficiently, what the utility in your area looks like in terms of getting that project online. Even in terms of those other rules and regulations, I know I used to work in areas where some places had 3-foot roof setbacks and some places had 0 roof setbacks. By working with somebody that knows those intricate ins and out in your local area, you're much better to get a much better customized experience to what you and your home needs. And number 5, specialized offerings versus a diverse offering. Now, this one has pros and cons in both sides. On one hand, it's really good to have somebody who is specialized and only does, for example, residential solar. Somebody who only does residential solar knows the key ins and outs of residential solar and how to get projects done efficiently. Whereas somebody who has a more diverse offering, like let's say they do electrical, roofing, HVAC, they have a lot of different facets of their company, but may not be specialized in one particular area. That can sometimes lead to poor experiences or even potentially that one residential sector going out of business and leaving you hanging out to dry. Now, on the other hand here, somebody who is more diversified in their business holdings is going to have probably a better time dealing with market volatility. Right? As time goes on, the solar coaster goes up and down. Their other sources of business are going to help them continue to push through so that you may not be hung out left to dry. So it's important to talk to that company, make sure you understand what their mix is. Are they specialized in one area? Do they work in a couple different areas? And if they do work in different areas, are those specific branches? Do you have a point of contact for just that one, let's say residential solar division, and somebody different for HVAC? All this is really good to know and good things to ask your installer. Make sure you like the video and comment down below. What other tips do you think are really helpful in choosing your solar installer?